When adding or subtracting decimals, the first thing you must do is line up your decimals, and then you can add or subtract like normal. So for the problem 5.23 plus 7.489, I'm going to start by writing 5.23. And then if I need to add 7.489, I know that I need to line up the decimals. So I'm going to write 7 here, and then 4, 8, and 9. Now, when I go to add, I notice that I don't have anything to add to 9. I need to put a 0 as a placeholder here. By putting that 0, I have not changed the value of 5.23 at all. So now I can just add. 0 plus 9 is 9. 3 plus 8 is 11, so I write my 1 and carry my other 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 4 is 7. I'm going to bring down my decimal, and then I'm going to add 5 plus 7, which gives me 12. So the sum of these is 12.719, or 12 and 7/19 thousandths. For 9.5 minus 2.64, I will again start by writing my 9.5, and I will subtract 2.64 from it. I need to make sure I line up my decimals, so I'll put my 2 here and my decimal here, and then 6, 4. Now when I start to subtract, I notice that I don't have anything to subtract 4 from. I need a 0 here as a placeholder. Again, the 0 does not change the value of my 9.5. Now I can subtract like normal. I know that I can't take 4 away from 0, so I'm going to borrow from the 5. That's going to make my 5 a 4, and that's going to change my 0 to a 10. 10 minus 4 gives me 6. And now I can do 4 minus 6, but I know that I can't take 6 away from 4. So I'm going to borrow from the 9 to make this an 8, and that will change my 4 to a 14. 14 minus 6 gives me 8. I'm going to bring down my decimal, and 8 minus 2 is 6. So my difference is 6.86, or 6 and 86 hundredths. For 12.3 plus 4.976, I will again line up my decimals. So I start with 12.3, and then I'm going to add 4.976. In this case, there are 2 placeholders of 0 that need to be added. Now I can add like normal. 0 plus 6 is 6. 0 plus 7 is 7. 3 plus 9 is 12, so I put my 2 and carry my 1. I'm also going to bring down my decimal. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. And then I have this 1 that I can bring down. So the sum is 17.276, or 17 and 276 thousandths. For this problem, it says Tanya goes to the mall. She purchases a shirt for $18.75, a pair of earrings for $3.92, and a necklace for $9.43. To find out how much Tanya spends at the mall, I'm going to add all of the purchases that she got. So I will add $18.75, $3.92, and $9.43. When I put these, I made sure that I lined up all of my decimals. Now I can just add like normal. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10, so I'll put my 0 and carry my 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 9 is 17. And 17 plus 4 is 21, so I put my 1 and carry my 2. I'm also going to make sure that I bring down my decimal. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13, and 13 plus 9 is 22. So I put my 2 and carry my 2. Now 2 plus 1 gives me 3. This means that Tanya spent a total of $32.10 at the mall. For this problem, Jay's mom gives him $25 to spend at the movies. If he spent $8.50 on his movie ticket, then spent an additional $13.47 at the concession stand, how much change did he have left? The first thing I want to figure out is how much did Jay spend at the movies? I know he spent $8.50 on a ticket, and I know he also spent $13.47 at the concession stand. So to figure out how much he spent in all, I am going to add those two numbers. So $8.50 plus $13.47, and I need to be careful to line up my decimals. 0 plus 7 is 7. 5 plus 4 is 9. I'm going to bring down my decimal. 8 plus 3 is 11, so I carry my 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So this means that Jay spent $21.97. Now the question wants to know how much change does he have left over? If I know that he started with $25 and he spent $21.97, to figure out how much he has left, I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to take $21.97 away from 25. But when I go to write this problem, I realize I don't have a decimal to line up in 25. Well, whenever I have a whole number, I actually always have an invisible decimal behind the whole number. So there's actually a decimal behind my 25. Now I can line up my decimals by writing 25 minus 21.97. Now I do need to put zeros as placeholders. Again, 25.00 does not change the value of my $25. So now I'm going to subtract. I know that I cannot take 7 away from 0, so I need to borrow from this number, but I can't borrow from a 0, which means I'm actually going to have to go all the way over to the 5 and borrow from the 5, which will make that a 4. When I borrow from the 5, that makes this number a 10. Now I can take from this number and borrow from this. So when I borrow from my 10, that actually changes it into a 9, and that changes this to a 10. Now I can subtract like normal. 10 minus 7 gives me 3. 9 minus 9 gives me 0. I'm going to bring down my decimal. 4 minus 1 is 3. And if I do 2 minus 2, that's 0, but I don't necessarily need to write that 0 because it doesn't tell me anything. What I know now is that Jay has $3.03 left over.